Hello, everyone. Welcome to the On D in the Beaumont with me, Eliana Piers. Today we're talking about the Wayward Dukes, and I've got Christina Diane with me and Misty Urban. So the three of us are part of this set here that we want to talk about today, and we hope you enjoy it. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yay.
Yay.
Welcome, ladies. So
Hi.
say hi. Yeah. So just a quick thing here, the who, what, when, where, why, any Q&As about the Wayward Dukes. We've got 9 books in this set. It's part of a massive series, though. I did not create this series. This series is done by Don Brower, and the covers are done through Amanda Muriel. And they've done a fabulous job branding this and promoting this. I think we're on to book like 50 by the end of our set. So
I'm
this is
46.
46. Okay. There we go.
46. Yeah, isn't that terrific? It's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a well-read series, and we are the most current set of 9 books that are starting to come out in June.
Yay.
Yay.
And let's see. Let's see the authors here that we've got. So as I said, there's 9 of us. Eliana Piers, Miwa Lee, Christina Diane, Ramona Elms, Tanya Wild, Giovanna Sinisgalchi, Sarah Adrian, Carrie Lomax, and Misty Urban.
Me.
Now, I just have to ask, did anybody talk about the covers before they send them off to Amanda? Did anybody like chat behind the scenes with other authors?
I did not.
No.
No? Okay, because look how many pink dresses we have.
I noticed the color theme. We're very clustered in one side of the color wheel.
Yes, I love it. There's like
I
5,
do.
6 pink-ish, reddish dresses, and then we've got a
Mhm.
purple and then a blue one. I just love
Yeah.
that we were all on
Christina,
board
you're
with
the
that.
standout.
Well, I actually forgot to tell Amanda that I wanted to change the dress color. So then when she sent it to me, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to go make her change it now. So I'll just go with it. But I actually had wanted to change it. But I probably, even though pink is my favorite color, I don't know if I would have picked pink or not. Maybe.
Mm.
Trying to think about like back then, Christina, what she would have done.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah,
It's a missed opportunity. We're going to say it would have been pink.
yeah. Some form of pink. Okay, so I love this, and it ends up we end up doing a little bit of a fun activity with the covers when we start to do our Facebook takeovers. So do stay tuned for that. Okay, also a quick note here about the release dates. So we've got June 23rd, and for every Tuesday for those 9 weeks, a new book will release. So starting with me, Eliana Piers, I've got one with Duke's Wayward Ways, and then Miwa Lee's got How to Compromise a Duke. Christina Diane, The Duke's Perfect Scandal. Ramona Elms, The Duke's Lesson in Temptation. Tanya Wild, Only a Duke Would Dare. Giovanna Sinisgalchi, A Dance with the Wayward Duke. Sarah Adrian, The Duke in Disguise. Carrie Lomax, Snowbound with a Duke. And then Misty Urban, The Duke Decides.
There's your summer reading right there. Like June through August.
Yeah, it's already laid out.
You were all set.
That's right.
I love it.
So let's open this up. I've done a little bit of an intro to the set, to the authors. Let's talk about the Wayward Dukes. Behind every Wayward Duke is a woman he'd burn the world for.
Whew.
Yeah.
We love those fiery dukes.
We do. The more wayward, the better.
How waywards are your Dukes, by the way?
Yeah, Christina.
Well, mine is actually, so it's funny you say that. My Duke is actually a little more on the straight-laced side. I think he took, like, when he inherited a little very seriously, and is probably one of the ones that gives advice to the other Wayward Dukes. He's also got a very uptight mother who has very strong opinions about what his future should be. It's his woman who's a little bit wayward. And so she's the one that's like really trying to like cause him some extra scandal that he has to like kind of figure out how to navigate and like accept that like, hey, the end of the day, I'm still a Duke, and I can weather a lot of things for the right woman.
So is she the one tearing her off, or is he the one who's like teasing her?
What was that?
Sorry, is she the one tearing his shirt off of his shoulder in your cover?
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
Nice.
Saucy.
Misty, how about you?
You know, this has come across my radar before, the Wayward Dukes, and I thought, what a fantastic idea, the Wayward Dukes Alliance. Dukes can do anything, right? They're the Playboy billionaires of the Regency world.
Yeah.
So mine, the Duke of Barkham, is a scoundrel and a rogue, but has just inherited the dukedom. He is actually half Egyptian, and nobody knew he was in line for the dukedom until his predecessor died, and his mother came forward and said, by the way, my marriage was legal. You thought he was illegitimate all this time. And because he was raised as a bastard, he's had a very rough upbringing. He's a fighter. He's a brawler. He always has to explain himself. And also someone is trying to kill him. So he takes advantage of this Wayward Duke Alliance to try to, A, preserve his life, and then B, learn how to navigate being a Duke in this world that he's not accustomed to.
Okay. So he's kind of pulling on this network to help him figure all this out.
Yeah, and it's good for him because he really needs a network. He really needs a brotherhood.
Yeah.
He's been trying to make a go of it on his own and doing badly thus far.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
How about yours?
Yeah, I would say, so my guy's, he's a rake and he's a grumpy guy. He definitely calls on the Wayward Dukes to help him out. But he's got a good group of friends. Like he's got a few that he relies on, and he's tight with them. So this is like a solid relationship that he's got, not something that he has quickly formed. So definitely,
Nice.
Yeah, an established group there. Okay, and also just a comment. Oh yeah, we'll come back to that later. Let's go into the books themselves. So my book comes out first, June 23rd.
So soon.
I know, it's coming up soon. I'm not even ready for it. I am ready. It's there. It's written. But she's the bookish spinster, okay, and she has a list of things that she wants to have in a husband. And then, right, we all have a list now.
We all have a list.
Yeah, does that list actually get checked off? I don't know. But then she meets this rake, and he's got a very scandalous past. And in the middle of this, she finds a book, by the way, that's this pink leather-bound book. And this pink leather-bound book ties into my other series, like my other world, the one with so I have some books titled The One with yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. And in all of those books, there's this pink leather-bound book written by a wanton woman, and it's like the Kama Sutra for the Regency period. And she finds it, and her name is Prudence, by the way, and she's one of 4 sisters. Perfect. And so she finds this, and it kind of scandalizes her, but also intrigues her. And of course, in comes the rake, who ends up kind of teaching her or answering some of her questions, because she's like, well, what does this mean? And
I love the lessons in seduction.
Yeah,
I love that trope.
Me too. It's one of my favorites. So, and I never know what to call it though. I'm like, is it called lessons? Teach me. But I like this, lessons in seductions. Lessons in seduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some forbidden library encounters and questions that he answers for her in a very physical way.
I love the library encounter.
I'm already here for it.
I have to read this. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, she ends up kind of breaking out of her shell a little bit, which I do love to write. I love writing the girl who's not quite sure, or she's in living a conventional way and then learns to live a little less traditionally. Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a great arc.
Okay, I think that's all I want to say for my book. That's book one. Any thoughts on that, or move on to number
What
two?
color is her gown?
It is
What
light
color
pink.
is
It's a pale, pale pink.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like the screen is changing it a little bit. Looks a little more orange, but on my other screen it's pale pink for sure.
It's actually lighter pink than you normally go with for your
I
covers.
know.
I feel like you normally go for a more vibrant pink.
But I did vibrant pink for the Wicked Widows, so I had to go lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that it's a tie into your series too.
Yes.
It's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else did that.
I did.
I did.
Okay.
Talk about that. Yeah, you too, Christina.
I did.
You can't not. When you live in the world, you can't not bring it in.
I
Okay,
will
well,
tell about that.
I'm excited to hear how you guys did that too then. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little thing from Miwa. She emailed this to me. I'm turning my head just to the side here because I can't read the small script there. But Adeline Linton invents her own ruin to bait a duke into marriage. He swears he will never love her. She swears she will never need him to. Neither of them is going to keep their word, and the killer is counting on it.
Ooh, there's a killer too.
There's a killer? What?
Miwa always brings in a little bit of thrill. I love it.
Yeah, she definitely edges into that, which is awesome. I know when I saw the killer part, I was like, whoa, cool.
That sounds very cool. I'm here for that.
Yeah, so there's Steamy Smolder, Fake Ruin, which I also love, but also someone's trying to kill her. That ups the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know how she baits him. Like, what does she do to trap him? Because there's so many ways you can trap a duke.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's
How
one of
to
your
trap a duke. So that's a series right there. Let's talk after this.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
how to trap a duke?
All the different ways to trap a duke. Each book, fellas.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay, well, that's on our back burner there. Okay,
Yeah.
Christina, you're up. The Duke's Perfect
All
Scandal.
right. So all of my books in my entire world that I write in my Regency world, they're all connected somehow. So, little characters that pop in, they all are set in the same world. This one I'm actually kicking off a little cluster of a series with. So like my Wicked Widows book, one of the character is in this book for sure. Because he also has a little friend group. So he's a Wayward Duke, but he also has his little close knit friend group who kind of call him on his crap and stuff because he can be he's in his own way, right? Like as one does. She is our little scandalous girl, so she is more experienced. Her story is she actually has been in love with Wesley since they were kids. So this is a little bit of a friends to lovers kind of story. They've known each other since they were young. She waited to make her come out because his dad had died and he was in mourning. So she intentionally waited to make her come out because she thought for sure Wesley was going to court her. And he did not because he was so focused on his estates and all of his things, and he did not at all. And then she got tired of waiting and she was like, I guess I'm just gonna, do the thing that, society women are expected to do. And I'm going to get betrothed and get married. And she ended up having relations with her betrothed before they were married. And then he died unexpectedly.
Oh.
So I did this little thing where I'm I think in a different spot than you, Eliana. I'm enjoying writing experienced heroines.
Yeah.
But I don't want them all to be widows. So I was playing on this, like, she's experienced, but she's not a widow. So from society's eyes, she's still expected to be like a virginal miss but she's not. And then she's, of course, still in love with Wesley. So in comes, but she's decided, hey, Wesley's not going to get his stuff together. And I've already tried to do the marriage thing. I don't want to do that. And she has kind of now adopted her own, just, I'm going to live my life however I want to live it. I don't care what my mom thinks. I'm just going to do my own thing. So she actually dresses up as a guy and goes to gaming hells at night.
Nice.
So, like, that's what you kind of like find.
You do.
So all that you're in for.
Guys.
That's what you're in for in chapter 1. It's like finding out all this and like her dressing up as her little persona, because she is. So you can imagine that's where she's going to start hanging out with Wesley in a little different way. Is when he's out with his friends, and she gets to kind of hear some things, and it enables her to like find information she wouldn't have had otherwise. And then, of course, is our Mr. Proper Duke, who thinks he has to do all the right things. What do you think he's going to think about? When he knows he loves her, but what's he going to think about her dressing up and going out and fleecing all the men of their money at night?
Naughty.
So that's kind of the premise for mine.
He looks kind of fine with having his shirt torn off, though. It doesn't look like he's complaining.
Yeah, he
does not at all complain. And he is definitely not straight-laced enough that he's going to make her wait for marriage.
Yeah. So how quickly does he find out that it's her? Or is that a question that you want them to readers to read through?
No, it's about midway through. Because obviously that's more fun once they start, like, it's where we start having a little more conflict, because whether they have the initial conflict being just, he doesn't think she sees him that way, especially because from his side of things, she was going to marry somebody else. She obviously never saw him the way that he saw her, and like they're just friends, and like trying to broach that like we're just friends boundary. Yeah. And so he's, dumb, and his friends have to like help him like, get over himself. But then it's about midway through, I would say, so that way we can get to the, him obviously being a heavy-handed Duke, trying to tell her that's not how she's going to be able to live her life, and she needs to stay home and raise children and not cause them scandal and not cause them problems. And you can imagine how that's going to go over for old Wesley there.
Oh, Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley, and her name is Dorothea, but she goes by Thea.
Nice. I love that. I will be reading with great anticipation to that point where he discovers that it's her. Like, I love that scene where, like, wait a second.
Where he realizes the secret identity. It was her all along.
Yeah, exactly.
The fave. I agree.
And then I am curious to see how he reacts to her afterwards, because, like, you've made him to be this, like, straight-laced guy, right? And, then for him to come down on her, right, to chastise her for what she's done, like, how does she respond? So there'll be some really good banter, conflict there.
There'll be a little fun thing in the end of where he kind of can redeem himself from that. From that moment, like he does obviously redeem himself. Because,
is there a grovel? I love a good grovel.
He has to, because he came down all very my way or the highway, and you got to do
very ducal, right?
You got to be a good girl, and not in the fun good girl, in the like you got to be a good girl way. So,
we all see how that's working out for him.
Yeah, but you know what? Does he look like he's suffering? No, he's not.
Not too much.
Not at all.
Okay, that's awesome. Thoughts on Christina's book?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really good. The Duke's Perfect Scandal. Let's read a little note from Ramona Elms. She's got the Duke's Lessons in Temptation. So maybe some lessons in seduction again?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Let me read this. A lady looking to impress a lord recruits an older, rakish Duke to give her lessons in temptation. He agrees, but only to help her understand that the man she is infatuated with is all wrong. The lessons begin, and the lines between attraction and instruction quickly question whether the gentleman she has always wanted remains her ideal match, while her rakish instructor wonders if he is teaching her a lesson or falling for her. Okay.
So excited.
In love with the wrong guy? How much do you love that trope?
Oh, So I
Mhm.
actually really hate that trope, except I know Ramona's gonna pull it off because
Yeah.
she always does this. She takes this very, like, what would be a strange situation and turns it into the most tender. She did it in her novella for the Ordered Home for the Holidays. I thought,
Nice.
oh, I'm not gonna love this story, and I did.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna love this.
That's awesome. Sometimes it's just about who writes it, you know?
She
Mhm.
has the hand. She
Yeah.
does.
But I actually love this trope. I love when the girl thinks she's like
Yeah.
all infatuated with this guy and she's like gone for him. Like she just thinks he's the one for whatever reason. And then it becomes clear to her after whatever, happens that he's not what she thought he was, or he's changed, or it could be for different reasons that he's not the right one. So I think it's so funny because she's kind of clueless, but she's so determined. She's like, he is the one. And then she's actually,
Like Anna in Frozen, he is a prince, you know, that you just met today.
I like the trope too. Where I don't like it is when it steps into the love triangle zone.
oh yeah.
That's where I'm not a big love triangle girl. But so that's where this kind of trope where it's like, oh, she just is like, kind of idealistic and kind of
Yeah.
has her, thoughts about what's going to happen, and then she gets proven wrong and kind of knock her feet knocked out from under her. I do like that. That's
Mhm.
going to be
Okay, I'm sold. I'm in. I'm ready.
You're like, I'm in. Okay, this is going to be good.
You persuaded me.
I
We're both
also,
good.
yeah, and I also agree. I don't love the love triangle. There has to be a solid reason she can't end up with
Mhm.
the guy that she thought she wanted. And
Yeah.
it has to keep him like the one that comes to mind is The Goddess Hunt by Tessa Dare.
Mhm.
It's like one of my favorite books actually. And she's in love with this guy and there's just this really solid reason why she can't end up with him. And it makes sense and you still like the guy afterward and you never think that those two should be together. I think that's really important. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because you
Yeah.
want her to love the new guy, like the guy that she's supposed to love, or whatever you want to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You
What
don't
I
want to feel
don't like,
bad for somebody. I don't want to feel bad for somebody being left out, That's what I don't like.
there's
Yeah.
love too. We all do, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Totally.
It's
All
gonna
right.
be good.
Okay. This book, very exciting. Tanya Wilde is next. Only a Duke Would Dare. And let me read you her
Ooh.
comment. In Only a Duke Would Dare, Lady Elowen Price refuses to be a wallflower any longer. She's determined to have this be the season of firsts. Only her plan goes awry. Walks in on a marriage trap set for the cold-hearted Duke of Mandeville. Now she finds herself between the girl who tried to trap him, the infamous Duke himself, and all her glorious plans threatening to go up in flames. What's a wallflower to do? Find out the 21st of July.
How exciting. A cold-hearted Duke.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. This is funny because it's bringing in that like straight-laced MMC again, but also like a marriage trap. So tell me your favorite marriage
Yeah.
trap. Do you have a favorite marriage trap? Or one that comes to mind?
Yeah, one will come to mind.
I'm thinking.
Like, do you like it when the FMC plans it and then like with a friend that, the friend walks in on them in a scandalous moment or something? Or do you prefer that it's somebody else that has like planned it and like forced it on the two mains? Or could it go
So
either way?
I tried it once in one of my books in The Ladies Least Likely, where it's not a marriage trap so much as she's plotting her ruin and then finds out that they have to be married, so that provides the conflict. Like they don't want to trap each other. That wasn't really her intent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I opened a book once with the heroine accidentally foiling a marriage trap that was set for the hero, and then in return he offers her marriage, and it starts as a betrothal of convenience and turns obviously into where those things go. I guess I like when it's played on more than when it's played straight.
Mm. Yeah.
I think I like it when it happens more accidentally because I feel like he
Mhm.
can do some things like I'm trying to even think of one like with the true like it's set out to fully trap them. But like when it kind of just happens and like it's like these weird little happenstance that's like, oh, now we're together.
Yeah.
We made a bad.
Yeah.
And like and then you gotta like navigate through that. Like I love that. I think that's so
Mm.
fun because you have like this whole they're both
that
kind of gotta fumble through it together. And like make peace with like what happened.
Yeah.
Like I like that.
Nice. So far we've got 2 books at least with the marriage trap idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this works for our series, How to Trap a Duke.
Yeah, that's
Yes, that's true.
our next
So
series.
I love how racy Gio's cover is here. Like all of our other heroines are showing, a little bit of the
Yeah.
neckline, but this girl, she's very passionate.
She's ready to
obviously.
go.
She is a dancer, so there's that.
Mhm.
A Dance with the Wayward Duke. Oh, she's a dancer?
Mhm.
Or
I think so.
I think
That's what
she's
Gio's been saying about it. Yeah.
okay.
yeah, I think
Unless I'm mixing up books.
yeah, I thought this FMC was a dancer, but yeah, I could be mistaken too.
I guess we'll find out.
I know she writes a lot of like ballerinas and stuff.
She
I don't
does.
know
That's
if
what she's been
I don't know
doing
if this
lately.
one's a ballerina.
Well, we'll all pre-order and then we'll know.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you've got to read it and you got to
The
find out.
suspense will end, yes.
So let me read you. I've got on her blog on Amazon. Let me just read you this quick little thing here. He has taken enemy ships, fortunes, and glory at sea. Now he wants her. Okay, I need to just stop there.
Yes, this is the ship one. Oh, it's going to be so good. She's been teasing this on her social media for how long? I'm just frothing for this book to come out.
Pirate, privateer, what is he? Do we know?
I hope so. He's something dangerous. That's what I know.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do love a pirate Regency story. I don't know if he's a pirate, but how do you guys feel about those?
A pirate duke?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I had to write one actually, like because I was compelled to, not because I was forced to. I was like, I need to write this, and it was so fun. It was just
Which
a blast.
one? Which book is it?
Good Duke Gone Wild.
Okay. I have to read that one, yes.
Okay, it's a little crazy. Some people love and some people hate the FMC because she's super aggressive. She just she does everything in her power to get what she wants. And she may be one of my favorite heroines just for that reason. So
I like a strong girl.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Gio's written this. Is the FMC is she a pawn or is she the puppeteer? Or
Suspense, I'm telling you.
Okay, let's next one. Sarah Adrian's book, The Duke in Disguise.
Okay, so this might be my favorite dress color.
Yes.
Yeah, I do like this pink.
This might be. It's just so luscious.
It's so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and her hook
Dukes
is
in Disguise. You had me at that.
yeah.
Yeah, sold.
Auto buy.
Okay, but here's the hook on her Amazon blurb. He is not who he says he is, neither is she, but the heart doesn't care about secrets.
Ooh, I like if they're both playing some angle here. That's fun. What's cool?
Yeah, I have to pre-order twice.
Okay. So a lot of mystery in this one, a lot of secrets that will be untold, what's the word?
I love secrets.
Discovered?
I do. Yes.
Maybe one of them
is.
Yes.
Maybe one of them is one of Miwa's killers because that would be really fun.
Yes.
That would be
hilarious. Tell them that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Have you guys written the secret identity or hidden identity trope?
My latest novella was,
Yeah.
so it's a secret pleasure club set in Brighton in 1830, and it was in the anthology What Happens in Brighton, and the prompt we got was, "You're in Brighton, go." So I'm like, well, there's a secret pleasure club, and she's going to be married, so she's cavorting this one last summer, and she's wearing a mask. And he also has a kind of dual identity thing going. He's not keeping a secret of who he is, but he meets her in both worlds. And as I imagine is happening in some of the other books in this series, he doesn't know who she is until, in my book, it's quite a ways in.
Nice. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
She knows the truth and he doesn't. So there's a lot of tension you can get out of that.
Yeah, and that's always the question, right? Like, who knows the truth? Because that does affect the dynamics in the book and in between the two main characters.
Yeah. Plus, she's acting completely different. Like by day, she's this buttoned up little gentlewoman who's interested in her zoology. And by night, she's this masked seductress. She's playing out her fantasies. Of course, she's going to be a different person. So that was how I explained how he doesn't connect it, because she seems so completely different, but they're both sides of her.
Yeah, yeah. And that's also an interesting concept to kind of play out in a book, like just the different layers in a character, and who sees those layers and who sees those sides of a character.
I think that's one of the things that makes romance work, because when you find your person, they bring out parts of you that maybe you didn't want to express. So you get to see that unfold between the two MCs. I love that.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is the idea that the MMC sees who she is fully and loves that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a book that has secret identity and kind of that vibe. It's my Viscount and the Wallflower in my Unlikely Betrothal series. She's like a spectacled redhead. She's kind of been like treated by her family her whole life like she's like that ugly duckling who, her father's got to like try to do what he can to get the best kind of match for her. And he's a secret playwright. He's a Viscount, but he's also like this super popular playwright. I mean, I made him up, but he's the one that's writing all these plays that are being performed in the theaters, and nobody knows who the author is. He just turns in his plays, and because he doesn't want to be associated with it. And she super loves like all things, she's very bookish and she loves theater, and she, really immerses herself in all these things. So she like quotes the plays to him and like quotes different things. And he's like, like it's like this, it's like a little super fan kind of thing. And he ends up like kind of more befriending her a little bit, and then like that kind of instant attraction kind of thing. And so she got her hot playwright vibe now.
I love that.
The whole package. That's what I love about Secret Identity. You get them both in the end.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, so we'll have to see what Sarah does with the Duke. The next one in the series is Snowbound with a Duke by Carrie Lomax. And let me read a little bit here. A snowstorm, a scandal, compromise for Christmas. And here we've got Lord Bryce Emerson, Duke of Falkmere, doesn't mind sharing his room with a stranded widow and her infant son. He figures he owes a good deed to make up for his growing pile of sins, but the sharp-tongued widow with heartbreak in her eyes and the babe in her arms upends everything he thought he knew about desire, responsibility, and family. For the first time in his life, he wants more than fleeting pleasure. He wants her.
Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, I like
maybe August.
Summer vibes.
Just to cool down the heat there.
So the widow with the son. This is an interesting character, because with the widow you can go a couple of different ways, right? You can have her be experienced, or you can have her be the widow who was like, he just took me and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like. You can have her still be inexperienced. Now we know what Christina's
I do. Hey, I've written a Virgin Widow before.
Oh, have you?
I have. It's in one of my Dragon Blade books that is not released yet.
Okay.
Releases this summer.
Ooh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, a little plug there. But yes, I've written one. But now, yeah, for sure, I would not. I would be like, nope, she's going to be a wanton widow for sure.
Yeah. Misty, how about you? Have you written The Widow?
I don't think I have written a widow. I have a novella that was with the Suffragette Uprising series. My heroine was betrothed. They got very close, and then he was killed in war.
Mm.
So, same thing. She's experienced, she's heartbroken, but she's also unmarried.
Yeah.
So, that was a fun situation to explore. She's trying to make her own way in the world, but she doesn't have the security or advantages that she would have had she been truly married.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some widows, don't you, Eliana?
I do actually. Yeah, I'm trying to think what's out versus what I've just written. I know, because we write a little in advance, right?
Yeah.
So, wait, what's out
Which
there?
book was that? When did that come out? Yeah.
But for Good Duke Gone Rogue, I wrote a widow, and I never thought this was going to happen. But I had written a character earlier on in this series. His name was Reggie, and he was like a goofball. Okay, he was kind of antagonistic and just like he punches one of the dukes. Like he's not the best guy. And I just fell in love with him, and I was like, he needs a story. He needs redemption. And so I wrote his story, Good Duke Gone Rogue, and he ends up with a widow. And I just thought it was such a cool like juxtaposition to have him be this sort of like goofball guy who's a little immature, really, but he ends up with a widow who has a son, and she's mature in some ways, but she's inexperienced in other ways because she didn't have like the greatest marriage. It was just to an old duke who ends up passing away, and so then he kind of has to like man up, and
Yes.
yeah. So that was the first widow that I wrote. And then I've written for the Wicked Widows before, and we have one coming out in the fall. So I do have a couple more. And actually, I mentioned Prudence is one of 4 sisters. Two of her sisters are widows. So, yeah. And I think for both of them, I'm trying to remember, they both come from like more negative situations in the past. Yeah. And I tend to write light and fluffy. So it was a little bit there's a little bit of a mental shift for me to do that. And I was wondering if I should like how deep, how dark should I go? And I did push the line a little bit. I think for Eliana Pierce Brown, like normally I say, it's super light, fluffy and even humorous, but there's one book that's coming out that's a little bit heavier. It ends up obviously it's all happy endings and happily ever afters, all that that we would expect in romance. But I touched on just some like heavier topics. It just felt like sometimes that is the backstory of a widow, where she's coming from heartbreak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was a little tougher for me to write. How about you guys? Do you write a little bit darker or heavier topics at all, or how do you handle those?
Well, I'm wanting to trend my brand a little bit that direction in general, a little darker and a little heavier. But I have written in my UB series, I have a widow, and the book starts with her on page with her husband and like seeing like the connection between them. And so then you got to experience like losing him, and then like right away, obviously, and then into like her and this like, so she was a widow who was in love with her husband and was devastated, and then like more was and then years later was more looking like dalliances and whatnot, because she didn't really want to like think she could ever find love again or whatever. And then here came a charming duke, so
and that's the question that you wrestle with, is like, do they like, how how do you find true love twice? Because you want, like, I actually remember now, I did write another widow who did love her first husband, and that was the question was, can she find true love twice? Because she was in love with her first husband, and she was devastated when he passed away. Now, my story didn't start like yours. Yours is heavy on page. Mine was off page. But she still has the same question, like, do I deserve love again? Like, I already found love. You know, that's it for me. But it's really interesting to wade through that question and you know, just give worth and desert. Like, what do you deserve? Do you deserve this second, another love? Like, some people don't get love. Why do I get it twice? So that's a deep question. But it was super fun to write in the end because she does fall for him, and it ends up being a little bit of a different love. Like, one, yeah, it's not the same kind of love, but same truth, I guess.
Yeah, you're a different person, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Okay, Misty, let's do the last book that comes out for the set.
My Lady
Yay!
in Red. Let's address the question of why she isn't wearing a Regency gown. Because it was deep in the Georgian period, and I wanted to make her, my heroine, the headmistress of an institution that's in the background of all of my Ladies Least Likely series. It's an orphanage that's called itself the Benevolent Hospital for the Aid of Distressed Women and Orphans. And it's been in London for ever since Miss Gregoire came to London, I guess. It's been in London for a long time. And I remembered belatedly after Amanda did this beautiful cover that I needed to put this in the Regency period. So I thought, oh, well, masquerade, put a mask on her. So that is why they are in Georgian dress, because she's at a masquerade. So my heroine is both a widow and a secret identity.
Oh,
and she has, yeah, I
Love
loved it. So I kind of, to answer, I have to go back a minute because you asked the question about widows, and I realized that one of my recent releases, this spring, she was a widow. I totally forgot about him. I offed her husband early, and she's been in love with a hero who's kind of a Reggie type. Like, he was a doofus in the first book, but now he's developing depths. She's in love with him. She's trying to get his attention. But there's a tiny hint in that book that she might have been responsible for her first husband's death. And so that was a little seed that I followed, and I thought, oh, what happens if the woman is responsible for her husband's death? So her name is Louisa Bickford. That is her alias. She is the headmistress of this very respectable institution, and she's now being blackmailed by someone who has discovered her past, her scandalous and possibly murderous past in France. So she calls upon a friend who happens to know a Wayward Duke and taps into this alliance. But he, as I mentioned, is a complete rogue and something of a scoundrel himself. So they think, oh, well, he'll be able to bring out another scoundrel. So it's the masquerade where she is supposed to meet her blackmailer, but she's also supposed to meet her ally, and she doesn't know which is which. So that's the premise of it. That's very fun. So when she meets this man and there's this instant spark, she has to decide, can I trust him? Or is he actually the man who's out to destroy everything I hold dear?
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah.
It
was super fun to write because she's older. It's my first age gap where she's older than him. It's only 5 or 6 years. She's very set in her ways. She's very committed to this charitable institution, and yet possibly a murderess. So I just love the dichotomy of characters there. And then, as I said, he is actually half Egyptian. So he has been trying to navigate this new culture as well as this new title. And there's a killer in the background. To steal from me was playbook.
We get some killers.
Yeah. And there's a rendezvous in Vauxhall in the shrubbery.
Yes.
You have to work
auto
it
buy. See, that's an auto buy.
Auto buy, yeah.
Oh, and there's a sword fight. I just threw everything in there. It was like, yes, there's a sword fight. Yes, there's a balcony masquerade interlude. Yes, there's this managing duchess. Yes, there's ambushes and fights, and then there's a duel. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun with this book.
I obviously want to ask the question that you don't want to answer, which, who she meets and when and all that. So I'm very, very excited to see how the story goes.
No, I'm happy to share spoilers. I can't wait to talk about the book.
Oh,
Duke decides.
Okay, so then I do have a question.
Yeah.
At the masquerade, does she dance with both of them? Like, does she have the encounter with both?
She has the encounter with both.
Okay.
And she can't. The blackmailer is behind her talking to her. And he's changing his voice. And then when she meets him, she thinks, oh, this can't be the same man. But the blackmailer said, I'll find you again. And then it broke apart and moved around. So then when she sees him again, she's like, oh, it's you. But he also knows like the secret password that she had set up for her allies. So she thinks, oh, this is fine. So the teaser is that after the balcony interlude, when she gives into passion, because it's been a long time and she's a widow and he's very attractive. I mean, look at him. And then she sees the ring. And the ring of the Wayward Duke happens to look very much like the signet of her husband who supposedly died, and the blackmailers has somehow gotten hold of. So she thinks, that jerk, he seduced me and he's blackmailing me. What do I do?
Ooh, wow. I like it.
I hope so. I hope it works. The secret identity, as we said, it can be hard to pull off because the reader might be going, you fool, how can you not know the difference? But it was dark and it's candlelit.
Right.
And he had glasses and the other guy didn't.
He was wearing the mask.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Layered intrigue. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
Well,
we're here for it.
We're here for all of them. That brings us to the end of all 9 books. So let's just, quick couple questions to end this. What do you love about the Wayward Dukes?
I love the concept of an alliance of like, and that you need it in such a powerful position. Like, I think that's kind of fun too. Like, because the Dukes kind of, as we write them, they set the tone for society and they kind of make their own rules in a lot of ways. But then like, also there's still a need for them to, in cases to help them with their like the things that they get themselves into. And I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was what I liked. The brotherhood. There's somebody there to bail you out when you're really in a mess.
Yeah. I love that word too, brotherhood. And it just made me think like, I know, Christina, you said you also wrote like that they had an established relationship. They had a posse of friends that were all part of the Wayward Dukes. And Misty, your guys just coming into it like new. I wonder if anybody wrote that there was tension between the Wayward Dukes, needing help. So that could be interesting to find out as well.
Yeah,
that's true, because they can't just all get along with each other. I mean, that's way too many like alpha males like hanging out in one spot, right?
Yeah, true. Little factions.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What like if this was you, if you were a Wayward Duke and you were in trouble, like what could you see yourself needing to call upon Wayward Dukes for? What kind of trouble would you find yourself in?
Well, obviously, if I were being blackmailed as the headmistress of my institution, I would say I need a Wayward Duke. You need somebody with a title and a bit of clout.
Yeah.
But who also is a bit of a brawler too. Like he'll have that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should I find myself blackmailed? I'm sure.
Are you the
What'd you do over there, Misty?
Although my husband is alive and well.
Are you the type, Misty, to find yourself in scandal?
No, not very often.
Okay.
Not in real life.
Christina, how about you?
I kind of have my own real life like Wayward Duke right over here.
Nice.
Oh,
we joke that like I've definitely walked through this world like I call myself a passenger princess. Like I walk through this world like just doing things and knowing that if I get myself in trouble, like my husband's gonna be like, "Yep, I'll go figure her stuff out." Sorry. So who knows what
Yeah.
trouble I would get into that
Yeah.
I would need. But I definitely feel like I would be the type to, if I were in this world, to play on the scandal side and stir stuff up and like, see what I could do to cause some trouble and then just be like, hey, I ran my mouth. I'll fix it.
Andy.
Right there. That's awesome.
What about you? What about you, Eliana? What kind of trouble are you getting into?
I'm trying to think, would I be, here's what I could see. If I got the marriage trap forced upon me, then I don't know. Because I usually don't find myself in like a scandalous situation either, but I could see it like happening to me. Like if somebody else was meddling, then maybe I need to like get some outside help and be like, bail me out, please. So yeah, like we talked about earlier.
Me.
Yeah, please.
I feel like you're gonna wrangle the rest of us. You're gonna be the one that's like, get it together.
Yeah, the Wayward Dukes / SEAL mission, right? Like, get you out.
All right. Well, that brings us to the. I'm going to reiterate the release dates here. We've got them starting June 23rd all the way to August 18th. So, like Misty said, we've got your summer reads for you.
Here it
is. 9 hours, all in the Wayward Dukes alliance. Everyone with a little bit of a different take, different tropes. So you'll find something that you like. And any final comments, I guess, from Misty and Christina?
I can't wait to read them all.
I know. I'm looking forward to reading them all. I was like, sold me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks
thanks
for joining me and making the time to talk about this set. And thank you to our readers for reading. We will see you guys this summer. All right.
Yay! Yeah. Take care till then.